Well,
I don't.
I was like, you take care of it, and then after you've taken care of it, then there's, why didn't you do it like that, or why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that? It's like, well, if you wanted it done like that, then you should.
Well, they would, yeah.
And why you want to watch you do it?
You don't, look for the guy.
Sorry. Good, nice to see you.
Always good.
Leave them on the word.
For all house part yesterday. Yeah,
Well, I have a
like chainsaw.
Yeah. I'm like, that's.
If I would have had my chainsaw, I would have totally chainsaw. Tile.
You're so distracting, Wes.
Yeah, started the kitchen out.
But treat me good.
Right.
So I have a plumber that does shower.
Does all the time.
No, I just make it nice.
Here, he was telling me they started at 7 in the morning, sports on and everything. My electrician. They're all kids things, kids, animals out. Like putting shovel driver. It was like, you'll have to do something for them.
Yeah.
Well, it's only because they put the meter on the side. What did you do? I mean, some.
Yeah.
No, we need it for you.
The other way.
My dress. Oh, they're a little crazy, actually. Yes. Have I responded to her today?
No, not.
Oh, 16, no, she did actually. She has been back to person.
Well, that's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's.
No.
That looks good. Go ahead.
We all wake up on the wrong side of the bed today. I mean, I knew I was cranky, but everybody else thinks I'm crazy. I think it's a friendly reminder that I need caffeine. My instinct is going to be like, yeah, we are crazy people. Woo! I'm just like feeling salty today, so I'm not having it. And I just was like, wow, I'm Michael Jackson there. You're feeling salty today? I like it.
Oh, this is supposed to be.
Welcome to team meeting. Somebody, oh, that's my own stuff. I was like, somebody's not scared of the front row. Turns out it's my. We're not scared. I don't know. Bradley, will you push that through for me? Thank you. Let's start out with some bucket fills today. I'm gonna start because then it's gonna just get the ball rolling and everyone's gonna have a bucket to fill. Alex, fill in your bucket. She had, I think I must have just been sending some subconscious vibes to you that I need a coffee real bad. You saw that I got no sleep, which also sounds like it was in the air. Did anyone else not sleep or sleep like crap last night? Yeah. Weird, right? Like 2 a.m. I was posting my daughter's
talking about.
See, because I was like, I did not sleep at all. And finally, I was like, oh, I guess I will get something done. Weird. What's going on in the moon? Mercury, what's happening? Somebody give it a quick Google.
We got done.
We did just get done.
Yeah, it was just the full moon, right?
Yeah.
So it's the.
Hi, Grandma.
Hello. I'm the grandma. She's so cute.
So I'm gonna fill. So Alex, thank you. Fill in your bucket. For always know what I need. Who else? Bucket fills. Who did something great for you this week, or something good in a transaction or your life?
I mean, I want to fill the buckets of our brokerage, but the people that aren't even here, they're the few, but yeah, that broker opened, I held a few weeks ago, to have so many agents come out of firm and support. I mean, like we have 3 in here, 4 in here right now, 5. And oh my gosh, like I felt just so supported and it was so amazing.
Oh, good.
Great turnout.
That's a great listing.
Beautiful. Thank you to everybody for taking that time. I know it was all the meeting process. Yeah, it was all busy as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love our supportive crew that we have. That's awesome. Shauna, you had a bucket.
I wanted to fill your bucket. Thank you for coordinating the open house at the Park City with Dalton. Thank you to Dalton for hosting. Thank you for the beautiful flowers.
I need to come give you a hug. Because I haven't seen you for a minute. And it just feels like we need to.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you. Oh. It made me cry.
well, you got so. I love it. Hey, anyone else? Any other buckets that we need to fill today?
Actually, got 4 years too.
Oh,
Text last night.
Oh, I just,
You guys know that I don't know, I hope you know. We care a lot about you guys here. We wake up every day, thinking what we can do to make your life better and easier, so. If there's anything, let us know. Thanks.
okay, anyone else? Moving along. Wants and needs, we're jumping right into it today. What new listings, this is delicious, by the way. I probably don't wanna know how many calories, but I'm gonna just, we're just gonna enjoy all of them. Okay, what new listings do we have coming up? Listings, price reductions, buyer needs, who's got the unicorn out there? That
I
needs-
have the unicorn that needs a buyer. I have that one in Syracuse and I'm like. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. If you guys can come by, see it, check it out, see what you think.
What's the price on this stuff?
$650. And it's 8.3 acres. 8.3, and then it's
8.3?
no, 0.83.
Oh. I was like.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, have you guys seen that
And
before where you're like 1 million acres in the middle of, interesting.
No,
I mean,
no,
I'll make that.
I have that much acreage.
650.
Yeah, 650. It is one level and it is adorable. It's so cute. The only thing is they are using the front room as a bedroom because they've got 3 boys. They have a closet in there and everything, so it's technically a bedroom, but it's the front room. So, or the bishop's room or whatever you want to call it. So that's probably the only thing that I can see. Other than that, sometimes their dogs were there and we were barking the other day just because their bark collar died. So that was one, so that's the feedback that we've had. But it's super cute. So somebody please bring me a buyer.
I know that there's already like a Davis County tour, but I feel like that is a little further south. I wonder if we do just kind of a little western. Just like if there's a group of agents that just want to get together and go do a little western Davis tour. Cause I'm not getting a lot of activity on my Clinton one too, and I'd love to get some eyes on it.
I would totally put
Yes.
that together if somebody wants to,
That's why
if there's somebody who.
I have,
We've got Jenny first. Hold on one second.
No, I was good, so I do have a listing, but I was gonna add on to that, I think it'd be really fun if we got a group of us and we took a bunch of videos. And stuff and we created it, just
Ooh.
smash it all over Instagram. and Facebook.
We will give you guys all the permission to record whatever videos you want. I love that idea.
Yeah, I think. it'd be
I'm gonna make a little parking lot over here for me.
If you guys want, okay, so next week, we're gonna do the cotton candy here right after. And we could do the cotton candy on Monday instead, and then do this on Tuesday right after, if you guys wanna, we can put all of our houses together and go do a tour.
Let's look at the schedule and decide
See
before we
what we
add in one more thing next week,
Okay.
but I love that idea.
Okay,
Now I have a.
Okay.
I have, one coming up, probably about 2 weeks, but it's up in Eden. 3,600 square feet, has RV parking, 2-car garage, so I love this size, it's not astronomical. And we're gonna be right under $1 million.
Love it.
It's a nice listing. Allison, you have one? You ready?
I have one in West Point.
Ooh. Sounds like a Western tour content creation spot.
Yeah, it's vacant, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. We're at 625. The little room.
What you're built about.
Was he on the West Board thing? 2012.
2012.
Rough Real Estate used to, and I don't know whether they still do or not, they used to do a Northern Davis tour every week. And so it'd be like Layton North. So we probably ought to check with Bruff and see if they're still doing. Because that specializes in that area.
I like that too. I do love Jenny's idea of being able to create content, because I think that gives us things to have on our social media too, or you don't have to frequent on somebody's house.
Well, that and we can go together from house to house to house with the Weaver and Davis County tours.
I don't know why they.
We
don't
have
like-
to sit there and we don't get to see the others. And so that's
That's not how
why
the Davis tour, oh, if you have a house on tour,
you
yeah,
have to sit in it.
but
Yeah.
if you don't have.
Yeah. And so it doesn't really like vibe to be able to get all of our inputs on it.
And I loved how, what was his name? He used to do it like years ago, but we would meet at his, at Market, anyways, he's no longer.
Oh,
Vaughn. Anyways,
yes, I
We
can
would meet
literally see
there.
his face.
yeah, we would meet there, we turn on, we go to each person's listing.
Yeah.
Together.
That was how you
Provide,
provide
yeah.
in the good old
yeah.
days.
That's how I used to do it.
And you had a feedback sheet at every house, they fill
Mhm.
out, what is the next.
And then that way also the seller is only out of their house for like maybe 30 minutes versus a 2-hour window.
Yep.
You know, it just made it. Whatever.
I do too. So, and we could even open it up to 1 day a month if we wanted to. So,
I think, I love the idea of one city or one area. So you can. I mean, there's still a lot of people living here. Specialized that, hey, this is what this community looks like. This is the price point of this community. And here's some cool houses. That we have listed.
Very cool.
Who else? New listing? So. Oh, okay.
Like one of you have had your hand up, I keep catching up beside me.
The trustees have decided on my Park City listing to reduce down to 2.75. But are open to 2.5. Anybody's got investors. It's
What
a-
was that listed at originally? 3 something?
3,
Okay,
yeah,
It's down
Yeah,
half a
it's-
million.
what, yeah.
pretty good price drop.
The trust wants it full sooner rather than later.
And this is an Airbnb approved property, right?
It is, and it has a very nice history. And that they have a waiting list already for this coming winter.
Oh, wow.
Weekend rentals.
Christina will do solar financing.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, and
Okay,
So what exactly is it? Meaning-
It's a 2-bed, 2-bath ski and ski out condo at the base of Snow Park.
does it cash flow?
It does cash flow.
Mhm.
You look at how far out that price.
See?
I think the property manager has a really good marketing plan in place. So as Snow Park develops more from the Snow Park to the Snow Beach, demand's gonna be a lot higher up there. Is there?
Ooh, the Olympics
And
are
the
coming up.
Olympics, I mean, it's a good time to get in because the Olympics are coming because of all the things the Spear Valley's making. All Spear Valley's expanding.
yeah. Okay, love it.
I'll buy it and take it,
Christie,
convert it to cash flow.
okay,
I'll buy it.
this dang house, I need a stage and, yeah.
I have some stage.
I do too.
And bury one of those St. Joseph statues there.
I'm going to, because this, you guys, this house, okay, I've had it under contract twice and both buyers have canceled the league of clothing.
Oh, no.
Yes, and this property, you guys, we got the appraisal back, it appraised at 376, it's now listed at 360, he is super motivated and will take, I will just tell you, he will take 340 to 360.
Where is this?
In Ogden, it's 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 4-car garage,
Wow.
it's a great property. Like, he is super motivated.
This is the one on Jefferson, Christie?
Yes, yes. No, not Jefferson, this one's the one on 4th Street, sorry. I was thinking the name Jefferson, 4th Street. Yeah, so,
4-car garage.
yeah. It's a mess, yeah, and my poor seller, like, these buyers are canceling like a week for closing and it's just not. Yeah.
Okay, so here's an idea with that commission, you could do a 20, you could do a 2-month buy down. Anyways, maybe I should go on a field trip.
So anyway, there's an equity in it, I love that.
I did talk to Tommy too, and
Oh, there
he's
he is.
willing to, oh, there he is. I know Tommy. He's willing to help us if he is our lender to be able to get them in and do a one-time, refinance. With,
When the rates drop.
yeah, when the rates drop, and that's his fees, what he's not collecting on that.
Okay.
That's what it is.
So basically, the strategy would be to help them buy their rate down. They still qualify for the higher rate to help buy the rate down, and then when they can refinance, they can refinance. with no fee.
Christy, I might have fire for that. Shortly.
Love it. Who else? Anyone else?
I have another one coming up, but we're waiting for a divorce to be final on it, so it's probably 2 weeks out. And oh, it's been a 3-year thing, so. But anyway, that one is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2 family rooms, split level, has a deep garage, RV parking. It's got a view of the entire city. It's got a view of the mountains, like it's
What city?
Ogden. And it's right on the, it's like North Ogden East Bench, but it's not North Ogden, but it's really close.
What's the price?
465, I priced it at.
The hot price. The hot market. Hot price. Okay, love it. Who else? Jen. Oh, that's their
Okay, so we've got one in Plain City, we just listed for 640. 3-2, 3,400 square feet, an unfinished basement on a half acre, just over a half acre. With paid off solar panels.
Wait, tell me the price now on that one.
640. Okay, and then we've got one at 399 up in Logan, the patio home 3-2, 50 feet.
Logan patio. 399. Your kid's going to Utah State, buy him a house, don't rent. There's something that I screwed up there.
No, we
I
just,
cleaned up.
no, we just didn't know if these were just up, or what we need sold.
No, you can talk about what you need sold.
We've got one in Brigham City listed at 410, the 4-2, the perfect little starter home, super clean, vacant, needs to be sold last week.
It's super cute.
Love it. Don't worry, I was getting there. Okay,
And then Riverside, we're at 680, 7 bedroom, 4 bath. With.
Where's Riverside?
Fremont area.
Oh,
It's 0.7 acres. Yeah, so, yeah, it's only about 45 minutes from Ogden. Not super, it's not too far out, it feels a lot larger than the 37 square feet. Honestly,
here's what I'll say too, if you have people kind of that are on the fence about the area and they don't have a specific area they have to be in, take them north, guys. The freaking traffic is so bad in western Davis and Weaver County right now that you can go north and your commute's gonna probably be about the same.
and you get a hell of a house.
And you get
With
a
some
way
land.
bigger house with some land and that kind of stuff, so.
The views from the upstairs bedrooms, I took pictures. It's just, it was gorgeous, and it was like watching the storm roll in and roll out.
I love it.
It was very picturesque, I'll admit.
Okay, anything else? Awesome. Bradley, I'm guessing you're gonna have to click me. Was there anything online, Penny, in the chat? Okay. Upcoming this week, we have tech training today and today only. Bradley and Lauren, tell us all about it.
Well, it's gonna be super fun.
So cute.
The designs outlet has had a recent update about email templates, so if you have any questions on your email templates, today is the day to get those answered.
Awesome. Show up. They're gonna be meeting in the large training room.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Oh,
The new email template thing is actually awesome.
Yeah.
I've been using it heavily.
Are those ones that you've been forwarding to me? I am on some of Alice's smart plan and yeah, they look freaking awesome. Very nice job. More Club is this Wednesday at 2 p.m. Lene is going to be diving into your big why, right?
Absolutely.
Big Y today, or I mean tomorrow, Wednesday at 2 p.m. We are gonna do a 411 meeting mastermind on Thursday at 9:30 in the morning. That is this Thursday. 411. Who could tell me what it means for a little gold star? I don't know.
No.
4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year.
Yes, 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. Back in the good old days, we could on our little rotary phone dial 411 and it would deliver you information like the weather and stuff like that. So anyway, 411 stands for 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. I recently was listening to a podcast and they didn't even mention the 411, but like basically the tool that they were using was very similar. And I was like, man, this is just so, again, like the principles of the one thing are just like being thrown in my face over and over, which tells me that I need to hear it and I need to share it with other people. And it is just, if you want to get dialed in and crystal clear on where you're going with your business and your personal life, start using a formula because it forces you to focus on the most important pieces. So we're going to go through that Thursday at 9:30. If you've never done one before, that's okay. If you've done them a million times, it's always still a good reminder. And then in that group, if you want to, we're not going to force anybody, but if you come and you want to have a quick weekly connection meeting with somebody else that's also working on their 411, then we'll pair you up for the month in that group to be able to say like, hey, Alex and Jenny, you guys are accountability partners for the next 4 weeks. And that partnership meeting can be very quick. It's not something that we, like, I'm all about trying to make your time more efficient, not less efficient. We don't want to add in a meeting just to add a meeting. So this is seriously a quick check-in of what were your most important goals this week? What did you get accomplished? What will you do next week? It can be a 15 to 30-minute conversation. Great masterminding, but it's also, there is something special that happens when you have an accountability partner, your little accountability buddy. You don't want to let your accountability buddy down and you don't want to show up being unprepared. And if you do, it's probably a good thing to talk to somebody else about it, of why you're starting to feel that way. So anyway, come to that on Thursday. And then Friday at 10 a.m., there is a code of ethics class on Zoom. Is that through KW Utah? Lauren? Okay. So register for the class right here on this little QR code. Fun fact, every single person has to renew their code of ethics in the same time frame every year. So even if you've taken it in your renewal cycle, but it's not in the 22 to 24 time frame. So if you took it, well, I guess you would have expired no matter what. Anyway, regardless, you got to take it. So if you haven't taken it in the last 2 years, sign up and take it online. The Utah market update is a busy week for the end of July. Holy moly, is tomorrow from 10 to 11:30. This is available on Zoom. We will also have it here in the training room. If you want to come and be together, we can do that. If you don't, register right there. I would suggest, even if you're going to come in person, register, because then you'll get all the slides. They don't do like a sign-in sheet or anything like that. You're only going to get the slides if you're registered for the meeting. Then they're going to send them to you.
Are they gonna record it?
It will be recorded, I believe.
Okay.
Register no matter what, so you get the slides, and then I'll double check with Johnny if it's recorded. It's gonna be Johnny and Boyd.
Whoa. Boy.
You guys don't know who Boyd
I
is.
know.
I know.
Boyd Brown, if you guys, he's kind of a big
Boyd
deal. So he owns the
He's the
Salt Lake
majority
Valley,
owner of most of the Salt Lake Falls.
Yep.
But
does
he's
a ton of commercial,
Yep.
lot of big
not a
business.
commercial man, just big business.
Big business. So, he's gonna be joining Johnny as his guest as we dive through Q2. 75 card participant drawing. Who's participating in some way, shape, or form? Even if you're not getting 100%, who's participating? Okay, awesome. Is anybody getting 100% that forgot to tell Brad? It's your last chance to put your name in.
it's not easy to get 100%, guys.
It's not
And
easy.
so we acknowledge that, your efforts, if you will. However, if the idea is to create the habits, that's why we do the guidance.
So what do
It's
we,
gonna grow your business.
so if we have a bad day, we still just keep trying. We don't ever give up, because that'd be done. And then, also just, look at the long term of, if you just focused and did this just for this short period of time, it's gonna create really great habits. It's gonna help you really fill your pipeline going into the next few months. So,
They say it's 66 days to make it a habit. So
that's 66-day challenge. So we have, does anybody who's doing it want to share anything that they're having from success, or a challenge, or an aha that they had this week? Anybody want to share anything with this one?
Jesse's doing her CMAs and it's dialing in like the, not platform, presentation of it,
Ooh,
which I really like.
I love that.
CMA makes it real. Has anybody tried the live cloud CMA? It's pretty freaking cool.
That you can
It
click
makes-
right to the link.
Yeah,
Super
it's
awesome.
It makes you look really professional, and it's like super easy. You just do your regular CMA and then export cloud CMA. There's some things you gotta update and like templates, and you can reorder it and decide what you're going included and what's not included in it.
I
But
love that.
it's free.
It's free. We already paid for it. It's part of our
Customize it, I would
service.
love to use it.
well, and
You can,
There's
you can
some
customize
things you
it.
can customize, some things you can't. Most things that do matter though, you can customize. Like you can put your picture on there.
You can do your own price ranges.
Yeah.
Also,
So like it's more customizable. There's a bunch of different templates too. There's, I think Tom Ferry stuff in there and stuff like that too, that is extra you pay for the pro, but like even the simple system, like the live is so cool. Like they can go in and see nice pictures rather than your printed out or PDF kind of pictures and stuff like that of comparable properties.
This is a great time of year to be doing that CMA a day thing too, because so many people like, did you guys just get your tax notices?
Yep, yes, we have a appeal
Yours were
today.
down nice. So it's a great time of year, even just to check in, even if it's not because they think their value is wrong. Maybe their value did go down and they're concerned about that, right? Like those of us who are like, woohoo, less taxes. The sad thing was my property in Weaver County last time went up, but the value went down. I was like, stop voting on stupid crap, Weaver County.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it's opens a good conversation, right? And knowledge is power. And sometimes just knowing what your actual equity is in the house, it gives you some positioning that maybe you didn't have. I think we've talked a ton about consumer debt and about all these other things where people are kind of getting underwater in a lot of areas that maybe they have a car loan that they borrowed way too much money on, but they have some equity in their house, and that's going to free up $500 a month for them or whatever by being able to refinance or pull HELOC. And I think there's so many people who go, why would anyone refinance in today's rates? Because you guys, there still are some circumstances that it makes sense in. It's way lower than your credit card debt, right? So if you're having these conversations about value of their home, it opens up a lot of other doors because knowledge is power. And even if it's just a conversation of him in a contest, I really want to win. And can I value your house for you? Here's all the ways it's going to benefit you too, right? Just having that conversation is huge. But make sure you're always kind of thinking things through and talking things through in that way. So I love that. Good job. Anyone else? The winner. For today.
winner, chicken dinner. Oh.
Stephanie, it's probably because you're grandma.
For you ever. It's so much fun. And I said, come down, Steffi. And Rob turns around and goes, I think you graduated now. You're a grandma. I went, oh yeah, I guess I am. That's fun.
And remember, even if you didn't win this week, the real winner is your business.
Yeah.
Guys, I thought I was so much fun.
I think you're funny.
NARSOM updates, I'm just gonna continue putting this in there. We're gonna continue talking about it. Why? Because we need to. Little one-sheeters right here. You can download them. It takes you directly to KW Connect where you can download the guides. These are great FAQs for you. Read through them yourself. Know what the frequently asked questions are and add in those little one-page guides. Those are a great little addition into your buying or your selling guide. Get better at telling the story of why.
And Utah, like the MLS has you kind of shared those resources last week, but the MLS has resources on there.
There's
They
a
are.
ton of good resources. And again, like if you weren't here last week, my advice to you was go into the UAR page and on the top, instead of clicking and logging in as an agent, click on for buyers and sellers. That is information that the consumer directly is getting from if they just go to Utah Association of Realtors, that's consumer that your buyer and seller are gonna have. So does it make you look like the professional if your buyer or seller know more about what's happening than you do? It doesn't. It's kind of like when you go to do a CMA and literally the neighbor's house is listed and you don't have it in your comps. It doesn't make you look like the professional. Even if the house isn't a great comp, if it's right next door or in the same neighborhood, you should still probably be aware of it and why it wouldn't be a good comp, right? So make sure that you're paying attention to those things.
The other thing is I have a house, it was built in 1995. The one across the street was built in like 70s. And so it didn't pull up in my search, so make sure that doesn't happen too. So
Make sure you have more knowledge than your buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
Mega Camp, the hotel deadline, I hate to break it to you guys, but you missed it. It was July 27th, which was Saturday. Good news is Expedia still has some really great deals. I sent some to a St. George agent yesterday. I think they're getting like a hotel room that's walking distance to the convention center for less than 200. It's like 118 bucks a night or something like that. So still really good deals. Register here today. Remember, prices go up on August 1st. So this is the last time to get, it's not early bird pricing anymore, but non-last minute pricing. Still some good flights. So
Is
Austin,
anybody going that
Texas.
hasn't gone before?
Is anybody going that hasn't gone before?
it's fun. The food is awesome.
And the learning.
And the learning is good too. And the people and the fun.
Yeah. All of that. If you are gonna go, let me know, and I'll send you a link to on Monday night, after the welcome party. Does anybody listen to Everything Life and Real Estate with Dana Gentry and Linda McKissick? Gosh, you guys, it's such a great podcast. So her podcast, David Moreau's podcast, and Marcus Green's The Whole Enchilada are doing a podcast mashup that's a live in-person event. All the money goes to KW Next Gen. So if you want to come to family reunion and you want to go to that event, let me know and I can send you a link.
That's a mega agent.
This isn't mega agent. Okay. Family reunion coming February 17th through 21st. I'm just going to give a plug for these two things and tell you that if nothing else in your business you want to commit to saving for, do it for one of these conventions every year. I promise you, there's never been a time that I walked away going, I wish I hadn't gone. There's never been a time I walked away without learning something for my business. There's never been a time that I've walked away from these without making a really great connection with somebody in another state. So referrals, help for your business, networking, all of those things, you really see the power of KW at these events. Family reunion is larger than the National Association of Realtors convention every year by thousands of people. So I'm going to Boston in November, which is more money than family reunion and less content and less valuable, I believe. So anyway, if you do not swing mega camp, start saving right now for family reunion. And if you want us to put you on a payment plan, we can do that where we'll take it out of your next 3 checks and buy it at the early bird price. But the one thing that I'll say with this is start looking for hotels too, because they do go up. And as soon as family reunion hits, mega camp hits, they usually do a mega camp attendee discount. And so there will be a lot of people that register that day. So get your hotel room for sure, even if you're not sure, get your hotel room as long as you can cancel. Save the date for next Tuesday, August 6th. So Kreg Wagner is going to come here and he is the legal counsel for the Utah Association of Realtors. And he is going to go over our new contracts. I need you to use the QR code and RSVP. Even if you come to team meeting every week, please RSVP. We have already had so many people want to come to this inside and outside of our doors. So make sure you RSVP so that we know how many people to plan on and how to set the room up. This is going to be really valuable, you guys. My next slide, after you guys get this, John,
I want to say something about this. We
I'll allow it.
proactive when we reached out to Craig way in advance and got him to do it. Completely booked now and for quite some time. And he's actually doing Zooms only now. So we're lucky that we snagged him in time. So this is a big deal that he's gonna come here and do it. So
Have you guys seen him speak before or had a conversation with him? He's great, super knowledgeable, and he's oftentimes who you hear on the other side of the legal line.
Legal hotline.
You're calling the legal hotline.
And at a UAR convention, for those of you who have not attended, which is a great convention, they do what they call the legal panel, and it's all the hot topics that they got multiple questions over the past year. And he's the one who runs that panel, and it's some of the best real estate attorneys in the state. So and that's probably the busiest class that they do at the convention.
It is. Also speaking of that, I should probably have added a slide for that, but I'll add one onto our Facebook page. If anybody's interested in going to the Utah Association of Realtors Convention, the UAR convention is in San Diego this year. It is September 3rd, 4th, probably that third Wednesday, the 4th. So it's the 4th through the 6th in San Diego. And yeah, should be a good time. Hey, check your email. Couple things. So you got an email from the Utah Association of Realtors. The subject line is important updates to prepare for settlement changes. Isn't that an exciting topic to read? Search for this email. It is critical information for you to have. Ken's going to dive deeper into this. When, Ken? Tell us.
On the 9th, right after Craig. Craig's gonna do a deep dive, then on that Friday for Bites with Ken at 9:30, I'm gonna do a follow-up and dive deep as well.
Okay.
Answer all your questions. It's gonna be your time, so.
I love it. Also, the reason that I left this just like this with my little return inbox is everybody have Boomerang installed in their Gmail.
Boomerang?
You guys, I'm gonna tell you a little game changer tip today. This is free. It's just you click on your settings in your Gmail, and remember your KW.coms are G Suites. So those are also Gmail sponsored account. So you can subscribe to something called Boomerang. It looks like that little boomerang. What does Boomerang do? You throw it out, it comes right back. So every month, the free version, I think you can Boomerang 10 items a month. So what that means is I looked at this and I said, ooh, this is important, because it said, why, how did I know? Because it said important updates. So I was like, ooh, this I gotta know. So I knew it was important. I didn't have time to read it. I skimmed it and I said, this needs to come back to me, and I'll get lost, right? How many emails do we get a day? It gets lost in your email. So you can Boomerang it so that it will return to you, and you can set it for a certain day, time, whatever you want. You can go, I don't want to see this for a month, or I want to see this in 20 minutes, or I want to see this in 2 hours, or I want to see this in 2 days. So this Boomerang, it's free. And then what it does is this pops back up to you as though it's an email from you saying, oh, hey, you asked us to bring this back live. Here it goes again. Because I think a lot of people get in the habit of like, oh, I'll leave it on unread. Well, I went out of town, I went camping, and I was gone from basically Thursday to Sunday with really limited service. I probably had 4,000 emails just in those few days. So if I just left things on unread, it's pretty hard to go back through and find it. So that's my little tech tip for the day. Is install Boomerang. It's free. They do have a paid version too, but why use it if you don't need it? This just basically shows you to comply with the National Association of Realtors lawsuit. The MLS is in Utah are going to make the following changes no later than August 14th. So number 1, removal of all offers of compensation. Offers of compensation will continue to be an off MLS option. Please see the infographic here that explains the various options for the buyer's agent compensation. We went through that last week. I'm not going to dive into it again, but if you want that infographic, click there. Again, if you're having a hard time visualizing it in your mind how this is going to work, that would be good for you, just for yourself. Number 2, it's going to require agents to sign a written agreement with their buyer before touring a home. See revised buyer broker agreement. You can click on it right there. Amazing. And you'll see the revised agreement. Then it goes on to tell you that the Association of Realtors has updated their forms to comply. These forms will be available from the UAR forms vendors beginning August 4th. August 4th is when those are going to be available. I suspect those will update in DocuSign. We'll have the exact date for you soon, but I suspect it'll be sometime around this same time frame.
This email is telling you, continue to use the existing forms until then. This email has links to most of the forms that are opening. They all say a giant sample across the front. Now, what I would do, if it were me and I was serious about my business, I would probably find this email right now. I'm guessing a lot of us missed it. And then I would actually click on every one of those forms. And each one also has a video. Sean.
I'm actually gonna resend out that email, so you guys.
Sean's gonna send it back out to you. They all have clickable links to the forms and a video too. Guys, this is our business. We are helping people enter into legally binding contracts for the largest purchase that they're gonna ever make in their life, for the most part. We should be taking it seriously. I know there is a lot of chatter around creating, I'm just gonna create a showing agreement, or we're just gonna create some other written agreement. Here's the reality. Why would we not just tell them our value that we bring? We are not Uber drivers. We are not DoorDashers. This is not a gig. This is a profession. Let's act like it, folks. This is a really good way for us to all level up. Why would we not just want to meet with somebody and explain to them all the value we're going to bring them and what we charge in exchange for the value? Let's just do that. Let's stop trying to find ways to skirt around or not do what we're supposed to do to show the property. Let's just bring really great value and be professionals that we are in this industry. Because this isn't a gig. This is a profession. So treat it like one, right? So these forms are available. If it were me, and if you walked into my office right now, you would see that I printed all of them out, which is against what I normally do, because usually I look them on my iPad as the whole thing. So I printed them. They're actually in cardstock. They screwed up and Lauren was printing your awards. But seriously, like, go through and read them. Highlight the areas that are different. And then take it even one step further and sit down with somebody and say, Alex, I'm stumbling through the new verbiage of this agreement. Can you and I just role play this for 10 minutes? Can we walk through what this would look like? That's what we do as professionals. So treat it that way. Ken.
Once you do, your anxiety level is going to dissipate.
It's gonna go way down.
Way down. I was even anxious with the changes. And now that I've reviewed these a few times and digest them and listened to the videos 2 or 3 times, it's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay. Christy.
So Ashley and I did this exercise last week. Watched this together and came up with lots of questions that we had for Kreg, like for being prepared for when he comes here. So, just reading through them, watching the videos, best practices, like I think that's the thing, what's the best practice around this? Like, and just having your information taking that trying to first and having him here as a resource.
I love that. Love it, love it, love it. And you're gonna walk in better prepared because you now know what questions you think you're gonna get. And also the biggest thing that we find, and I'm gonna put us all back in, like, we're all starting fresh right now in new territory. We're leveling the playing field. Everybody's having to relearn some new skills. Well, as a newer agent, what were some of the things you were most terrified of? The questions that you were gonna get that you didn't think you would know the answers to. And once you started actually role playing the questions or talking to people, you figured out they weren't quite so big and scary after all, and we could figure out the answers, right? So here's what I'm going to tell you about this, and we're going to watch a quick little video. The one form that has still yet to be released is the REPC, interestingly enough. They're saying that they've cleared it. They're just waiting for one other party to clear the REPC, which I believe is the Attorney General. Is that what it was? Anyway, they're waiting for one other party to clear the REPC. We're going to watch a quick video about it. It's 3 minutes. I just really encourage you guys. Here's what's going to happen in August. There's going to be people who are really educated, who are excited and fine and looking forward to it. There's going to be people who are like, wait, what? Is there a new form? Because how many people still got or still sometimes get a seller disclosure form that was updated 4 years ago? And I'm like, where did you even find this dinosaur? Right? So you're going to have the people that have no idea what you're talking about when you ask them to send you a contract on the new contract. And then you're going to have the people that are kind of in the messy middle who have a little bit of knowledge about it, but don't know a lot. What is that going to take for every single person in this room when we're writing offers and communicating with the other side?
Patience.
It's going to take patience. It's going to take understanding. It's going to take probably a little bit of kindness. So let's just like all make a deal together that we're going to be the professionals that are helping the other person that maybe wasn't getting as much education come along. for the ride. And guess what? Believe it or not, there might be somebody on the other side of the deal that does have some really great ideas that might know more than you. Let's collaborate. Again, let's use this as a reason to elevate our industry and really be the professionals that we are. And for the next few months, I do think it's going to be a little bit rocky while everybody's trying to figure out their best practices, how they're going to explain it, what their strategy is going to be. But if we can work together and walk into a transaction going, this is new for everybody, instead of treating the other side like they're idiots, sometimes I think we think that in our heads as much as we don't want to. I think it's going to make a big difference for everybody in this room to continue being at the top of our profession. Okay. Quick little 3-minute video.
Welcome back, UAR Legal Counsel. Peter Christensen, UAR Orange Chair. Well, we want to talk about an exciting change to the real estate purchase contract or the REPC. It is not a wholesale change. There's only one section that's being added and modified, and that's under section 4.3. So looking at the change, we want to scroll down, and this should look somewhat familiar with regards to the real estate broker's payment addendum, because the language is very familiar and similar to that. Okay. So here you have this new section. Basically what it does, it allows the buyer to ask the seller if the seller is willing to compensate the buyer's brokerage. Because again, there's some benefits to the seller to agree to something like that. And obviously there's some benefits to a buyer to have that obligation to compensate their brokerage offset by the seller. So it allows them to do that. And then it authorizes the escrow closing office to accomplish that. Any additional considerations as to what this section does?
But I like that this is not a new concept. This has been allowable for a long time, that the buyer and seller can negotiate those fees, those broker's fees, and who will pay them directly in the purchase contract. It's been allowed for as long as I know, in spite of maybe some confusion on that matter in the past, but always been allowed. We've actually had an addendum for, I don't know, 5-6 years that has facilitated that, but it's now in the REPC directly and will really be a great tool and option. It's just an option. This could be left blank or zero. Don't leave it.
Well, and we didn't address that though. It is left blank. We did make it clear that the seller's not obligated to compensate, right? So we did think of maybe that, it's left blank. So for sure.
But yeah, just another way to, another term a buyer and seller can negotiate in a real estate transaction. Has the main fee being the purchase price, and then a lot of other support fees to contemplate and costs potentially to the buyer or seller that can be negotiated like any other point in the transaction.
Yeah. So certainly if you have any questions, we'll definitely notify you. And I know the Division of Real Estate as well will notify when this becomes available and when you can start using this and benefiting your client. And so this is something to pay attention to on both the buy side and certainly on the list side, because it's now something that potentially has financial implications for the seller. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. There's little videos like this for every one of the forms too, by the way. So take some time and watch them, time block it. That should maybe be part of your 411 sometime in the next few weeks. Jenny?
I looked up on my Gmail, like you said, look for this, okay, they sent one a couple days before that was talking about MLS and what we can say. And they did say that we could say something about concession in the remarks, the public remarks. Now, concessions can be 3 different things, right? It can be different things. Question is like, can you specify?
In your offer, you can.
In an offer, but I don't think
But
on
not on your-
MLS
not
they
on the
can say,
MLS.
you can just say seller.
Seller's willing to pay X amount towards this. To be allocated or used at buyer discretion. right? That's typically how you would write it when you were asking for closing costs.
So,
You write it the same way.
so one more question for Tommy. Cause I was told, like FHA will only allow for a certain percentage in concessions and conventional will only allow for a certain percentage in concessions. What does that mean for our commissions? Does that part of it count as part of those concessions, or does the lender see them as separate?
So it'd be separate, yeah, the lender doesn't. Concessions. And it's all based on loan to value and how much they have the different types of loans. I have an email on it, I can shoot out again.
Will you send that back
Breaking
out?
down the concessions, but your concessions should be separate of that.
Okay.
It should not be
So
included in that.
okay.
I think it's important to note, a commission can be a concession by the seller, but they're two separate things too. Right? Like commission is commission. So if it's being paid as commission, we can call it whatever we want, but it's commission and there's an agreement between you and your buyer
Well,
that you're
you
gonna
have to
pay
think
it
it
or
this
your seller that they're gonna pay.
because with your buyer's agency contract. With your buyer's agency contract,
Come on up, sure.
the buyer's agency contract. If the seller's not paying it, it falls on the buyer to pay, correct? Right, now that becomes a what? A closing cost that they have to pay. So if you think of it that way, now you're asking the seller to pay X amount towards the buyer's closing cost to be used and allocated at buyer's discretion. You can pay your commission there. Right, so that's what the MLS is going to allow. Now, what I think is going to happen, I'm just projecting my thoughts of being in this industry for a couple of weeks. So one of the lawsuits is you guys have fixed rates, you guys have fixed commission terms, right? And which we never have, but that's what they were saying. I think what's gonna happen is you're gonna get lenders to start fixing them. And it's gonna be exactly what they said we were doing. Because you're gonna get FHA or VA or someone or conventional or Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, one of them's gonna say, no, we're only gonna allow 3% to be paid in commissions. We're not gonna allow any more, right? That they really could for that term of that loan. Now, is that fix us? Yes, if that buyer is using their loan product. Which typically, Tommy can probably answer this, typically someone goes and makes their application, they get, okay, with conventional, you're gonna get this rate, this is what you're gonna be for down payment. If you go FHA, this is what your rate's gonna be, this is what your down payment is. If you do VA, right, if they are qualified for all three, they're gonna pick the one that works best for them. Right? They don't look at the one and say, oh, well, your commission, this one allows your commission to be paid. So I see that this is going to be work in progress for a while. Yeah.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy, but I think that both VA and FH, I think everybody has come out and said they're not gonna consider commission as part of they're not gonna consider it as a whole towards the concessions. So let's say a seller agrees to pay a $10,000 rate buy down as a concession and a $20,000 commission, and that equals 30, but they're not gonna look at that total number. They're still just gonna look at the concession, not the commission, right?
That's how we've been, yeah. told.
Yes.
So we haven't heard anything different than that. So the one thing that Sean said that would be interesting is if you did have a seller say, okay, we'll give you 10,000 in seller concessions. And then you guys want to allocate a portion of that to pay your commission.
Then
I think that conversation would just need to be very. To had completely understood by your buyers, so they know what they can use for closing costs versus your commission. If that comes.
if that's what ends
becomes
up
the
happening,
process
it's
that
a lump
we-
sum of
Yeah.
Christie.
And is this referring to,
I know,
they
it's-
allow you and the seller, you know, percent allowable that we're talking about.
That's it.
Yeah, I would say if they lump it all into one thing, you guys need to break it down, so
So that you
everybody knows exactly what they can use for what.
maybe, it would be really great if we had a template that we just. And put that verbiage in there, so none of us get in trouble.
So that's what the contract's gonna state, basically, is if commission's being paid. So the thing we've got to remember, so I can put in the MLS in my public comments, I can say. Seller is willing to pay a maximum amount of $20,000 in concessions at this price. Now, you may say to yourself, to your buyer, hey, you were planning to pay closing, blah, blah. That doesn't mean just because they say something in the MLS, can we still offer and negotiate something else?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And also, we don't have to in the MLS put 0 in that section and then ask for 20,000 in concessions. That section is very clear that it is commission and who's gonna pay it. So let's say they had, I see you, just give me 1 second. So 20,000 in concessions in your comments. And I need $10,000 in a buy down. Let's say that I need 10,000 that I'm gonna ask for in closing costs, using the same closing cost addendum we've always used. But I'm only gonna use 10,000 there. Why would I not put the 10,000 in the commission section? Because that still equals the 20 they've agreed to pay. But now it's very clear, like Tommy said, because if I just put that as 20,000 in a closing cost addendum, now it's just saying it's a concession, it's closing costs, and you're gonna have to break down where it all goes. Why wouldn't we just use our forms that say there's gonna be a commission paid, this is the amount or the percentage, and this is who's gonna pay it? It's right in the front page of the REPC now. So that's there. Then if we want closing costs in addition to it, use the form we already have, which is our addendum, saying the concessions are gonna be paid this, our commission is gonna be paid this. And it's all negotiable and always has been. Quite frankly, there's so much panic, but you guys, how many conversations did we have about compensation when a brokerage that was putting billboards up and down I-15 was offering $500? Did anyone get paid $500 on the buy side? Because I never did. I never agreed to that. Not one time. I work way too hard. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, then we
So-
go to a for sale by owner, right? You're negotiating.
Yeah,
your
you're
commission on those
negotiating your
too.
commission there too. So
it's not
use the
uncommon.
REPC to negotiate the commission part. And then if they're asking for more concessions in addition to that, great, use that as a closing cost addendum. But what I wouldn't suggest is if someone puts a number in in the public remarks, to just take that number and put it in an addendum. Does that make sense? Have it be clear on where it's going and what's going where. Oscar, you had a question.
Yeah, for Sean. Sean, we can include the broker commission addendum to the together with the REPC, just to clarify that, how much we get it paid for.
So currently you would use it, but once this new one rolls out, you most likely can do it right on the REPC. You won't need the addendum. There's a chance that you would, but you might not.
But if there is, let's say that they are offering only 1%. And I want more than that, or my buyer agree with me to pay me 3%.
You would still put 3 in the REPC because remember, they're not offering, they can't make a public offer of compensation in the MLS anyway.
In
So when
St.
you
George-
say they're offering, you're not gonna have it anywhere that says we're offering. They might have a concession amount, but still they have to, why, guys, use the paragraph in the contract. The only thing I could think why you would need that addendum now is if something, so I submit
they
a
offer it,
contract to
You're offering
Allison,
it 2 and your contract says it's 3.
or I
So it'd be
submit a
additional.
contract. And I ask for 7% first. And then Allison her seller counters back and says, no, we'll pay whatever. That could be a time that addendum was used. But
Yeah.
otherwise, let's put it in the contract first and then use that addendum to negotiate.
St. George
after.
has rolled theirs out or in the process of rolling theirs out, which makes no sense because we don't have the REPC yet.
Mm-mm.
So I don't get why their MLS is holding the EAC.
The reason I'm saying this is because I hear a lot of agents in Salt Lake that they are offering only 1% now. That's because the seller has that perception that he don't have to pay.
There's a lot of
There's a lot of people. offering
uninformed,
zero.
I guess. There's a lot of uninformed agents out there. We just don't want our group to be any of
You're
them.
living with fear.
Yeah, we're living with fear. So I'm gonna ask this question. I want you guys to be completely vulnerable. Are you guys nervous about this? Are you guys fearful? Raise your hand.
Throw up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that if you don't have a little bit of.
I'm
nerves-
the opposite. I am so excited for it. I'm ready to pull the trigger. And the reason is I can negotiate what I'm worth and I don't have to just go with what that's being
whatever's
offered.
being offered. So it doesn't, Oscar, it doesn't matter what somebody's offering. Again, it's the same
Oh, I
thing.
know.
But it's
I have
negotiating.
done that.
Yeah, you've already been doing it.
Agent that
Yes.
was offering 1%, I got the 2%. That doesn't work. What I think is happening is that there's a lot of agents now that they don't know how to negotiate that with their seller. And the seller now think that he don't have to, right? And he don't. But I think that is where the.
Most likely, you're correct. They don't have to offer a commission and they don't have to pay one. However, most likely they will. Right? Have you heard those people who are like, I'm for sell by owner, I don't need an agent? But then when you look at the NAR stats, it's something like 97% of all transactions have an agent. So yeah, you're for sale by owner and you didn't have an agent, but when you told the story to the neighbor, an agent brought you the buyer. But you claimed you didn't have an agent. Well, an agent still did the transaction. Do you see my point? That
So it
we're,
sounds like,
we're more valuable now, not less valuable.
it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like buyer's agents are gonna be paid from the seller, not from the listing brokerage.
So I think a clarification on that, just as the thought process that I had. The difference between that is. Like the way, like the rules are still the same, a broker still has to pay us out. The way they phrase it that way, in my head, my understanding, totally correct me if I'm wrong about this. Is that either the seller is offering the compensation or the agent is offering compensation from their compensation. Does that make sense? So like, say we have a seller that says, absolutely not, I'm not willing to compensate the buyer at all, but you've negotiated 4% and you want to share 1 or 2% of your 4%. That's the difference between the brokerage offering compensation and the seller offering compensation.
So that makes Oscar's question. Makes sense to me.
But it's gonna be clarified right in the rep sheet. You're gonna check a box
Yes.
that will say it's paid by it's an offer of shared compensation, like there's a box you're gonna check for it. And by the way, guys, title
You've seen the rep
company,
sheet, the rest of us have.
yeah, the title company is still gonna be a third-party fiduciary that distributes funds. So honestly, regardless of how you negotiate it, it still is being negotiated. All funds still come into the title company. All funds are dispersed from the title company. So regardless of whether it comes, it's always coming from the seller's proceeds, no matter
But the
what.
seller's perception of what's happening is the reality.
Right? So it's either their shared compensation, just like you said, but either way, it's still gonna get paid to the title company. Title's still gonna deliver the check. It still has to come through the brokerage. The seller can't walk up to you and go, job well done, Steph. Attaboy, and give you a check. That's illegal. That cannot happen.
They can
So-
give you a check and then you the brokerage.
They can give it to the broker. They could.
Brokerage paying the buying brokerage.
It's,
The seller paying the buying brokerage.
like the process is gonna be entirely the same. The only difference is the verbiage that we use and the seller's perception of what's going on is what the difference really is there. Like it's whether the seller says, I'm absolutely not paying any commission, but the seller's agent is offering a portion of the commission they've negotiated for themselves. That's like the difference. You know what I mean?
So that mean I can negotiate the 6% just for me and.
Yeah.
maybe just
can.
my-
You can.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is no different than commercial. So commercial, you negotiate it. A lot of times when you go and you show places, let's say you're gonna buy a warehouse or lease a warehouse, they'll put right in the letter of intent, right? The LOI, they'll put right in there, who's gonna pay what brokerage, what fees, right? And then when it comes down to the lease agreement or the purchase agreement that their attorneys write up, it'll say who's paying what and how much it will be. They put it right in their contract. It's really no different than commercial. I think Ken had a comment or a question first.
So
Sorry.
the thing is that they're splitting. Our right cell right now in paragraph 2 talks about total compensation. Okay, so we right now we're mashing the listing commission and the buyer's commission together. Then in the next paragraph, it says of that, we're gonna offer X dollars to the buyer's agent.
Right.
Now it's gonna be totally separate. There's 2 paragraphs. The first paragraph is for the listing agent. You're gonna negotiate your compensation. So you gotta be very careful that you understand the new listing agreement, because that first paragraph is just your compensation only. The next paragraph is the buyer's compensation. They're totally separate and the seller agrees to pay both. But they're itemized.
Okay, that's how I've been explaining it to my sellers anyway. Even that area down in my house.
So, and then they redid the brokerage compensation form. But we've had that, like he said, for 5 or 6 years, where if you're not satisfied with the commission offered, you can then use the commission compensation addendum and have the seller pay additional commission for the buyer.
Where the keyword he said is additional, that was supposed to be additional more than what was already being offered. But now it's gonna just be the entire amount. because it's not being offered via the ambulance.
Yeah, they've got the proper terminologies in there and all that. So.
And they do have addendums in there to both, but we're running out of time, but they do have addendums in there to both the ERS and the buyer broker agreement. There are addendums, so that's where, again, take the time to read the contracts, read the addendums, watch the videos. Take one right now and side by side and highlight the differences. Like this is our job to be the professionals, and so we've got to take it seriously and really figure out how we're doing it. And I know it probably feels like we are talking about it. And even today, I was like, should we even bring this up again? And we're like, yeah, we gotta keep talking about it. We're gonna have classes on it. We're going to keep talking about it because right now it's all in theory. And in a minute, we're gonna have some like 2 weeks. It's gonna be no longer in theory, it's gonna be live action. And so we've got to do everything we can to prepare, and then we've got to be able to adapt and adjust just like we always do. I have Christy and then Brian.
Yeah, the best practices haven't even been practiced yet.
Yeah, we're just best practicing in theory right now.
Yep.
Did you have a comment, Christy?
My comment was gonna be around that is what I have been doing already, like I restructured my. Kind of I go to my sellers when I'm doing my listing consultation with them. And I'm like, based off of your particular home and your marketing needs that are gonna take to get your home moved and with the market we're in right now, like I have A and C options, right, with different. And I'm like, and this is fluid, it might take us a little bit more than this percentage to get your home market and sold. And I'm educating around how many homes we currently have active on the market, and that number is increasing and the buyer pool is decreasing. So, you know, just, I think a lot of it comes to being informed and educating your sellers on why it's important to offer compensation that hasn't gone away, and educating around like that hasn't gone away with what you negotiate that. Yeah. And you want to sell your home, there's some things.
These are the things you're gonna probably have to consider when you get it as a marketing cost or a cost to sell.
Yes, yeah, I think it's something.
Bradley had
Bradley?
Yeah, so before the new contracts come out, do we need to add a commission addendum? Even if they have an MLS printout of saying what's offered?
Use everything right now today is as normal.
However, what I want you guys to know and do, if you're under contract with, even if you go under contract in the next couple of days before we roll this out, make sure if currently, if we require in command that you guys put the MLS form, go get those, print them out. Now, if you have a listing, do the same thing, print them all out, get what's going on so you know in advance. Yeah, because that section is going to be gone.
And let's get clarification from Kreg on this, but when he came and talked to the board of directors, it's our understanding that anything you have already, so if you sign a buyer broker agreement with somebody today and they're not under contract, when they remove compensation, you need to do an addendum to your agreements that you have in place. If you're under contract so you're under contract, all parties have agreed and it's signed, like it's under contract. And the commission was being offered on the MLS, just like Sean said, print the MLS copy. That's gonna just stay in place. You don't have to do anything with it if it's under contract, is my understanding.
Now, with your listings, you need to do an addendum as well, because in there it states that you're gonna share across the MLS. That no longer we're not gonna be able to do that because it's not there. So you have to do an addendum that it will not be shared across the MLS, however, that they're still operating it.
And I think that's why those addendums are there is for
Those
existing.
addendums are.
That's why they're there.
Yeah, they're already.
And you have access to them in that meeting.
And then I would just say the last thing is that because we're deleting the offer of compensation, there's no net or gross. It's all gross.
Okay.
So gross.
Rusty, that change happens on August 14th through the MLS, right?
August 14th through the MLS. All the UAR stuff still says no later than August 17th. But there are a lot of MLSs that are rolling it out August 1. We're just not one of them, so. Okay, anything else? We're gonna fly through the rest of these. Remember to make your calls in a TCPA friendly and compliant way. Why? Because we have enough other things to worry about. We don't need to worry about this too, and neither do you. So save your money, don't pay a class action lawsuit. Save the date for next month. We have August 22nd. We're gonna do a little presentation around buyer mastermind around buyer presentation, best practices. We're gonna do a bites and insights. So this is gonna be directly following our More Club meeting. So members of the More Club stay and hang out. If you're not a member, come from 4 to 5:30. We're just gonna have some light appetizers, some drinks for you guys. And we're gonna just, for like 20 minutes, we're gonna do a quick little panel, and then we're just gonna mastermind and mingle as a group. This is something that we want to start doing more often. It's just some little short panels, but then really be able to mingle and mastermind as a group. Tommy doesn't even know this yet, but thank you so much to Unity Home Loans, who is going to sponsor for the month of August. So put this in your calendar, RSVP to Bradley. He's your go-to guy. Also, Bradley won Edwards of the Day today with the title Bites and Insights, because we were trying to think of some names, and that was the break. So bravo. Okay, our June awards. Dun, 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 dun. So our cappers, Chris, Brower, Wade, Eamon, Heidi, Hampton, Miriam, Laura, Brandy, Kaylee, Trevor, and Jessica. All time. These are first. Oh, I was like, oh, I was like somewhere else. This was my fault. Sorry. Great job. And we'll give the rest of you guys your capper certificates and cups.
You want to know something that really stuck with me that you said when I very first interviewed to be a KW agent?
Yes.
You said that some agents just come in at the beginning of the year and slap down a $15,000 check. And I was like, I want to be that agent. I'm not there yet. That's one of those like little goals in the back of my head.
Love it. We're just like, I just want to get this out of the way.
Yep, I agree with
We had some first transactions happen. So congratulations to Adam, Darnell, Dean, and Justin. Great job. And then we have our top individual listing agents. So Tanil, top of the pack this month. Diane, Kevin, Jamie, Mikhail, Jackie, and Marshall. Congratulations. I gotta come get your board. I'll bring it to you. Oh, look at you. You don't put your shoulder braces on anymore.
Better.
There you go. Top closed units of individuals. We have Lincoln, Chris, Mikhail, Heidi, Colt, Tanil, Jessica, and Catherine. Nice. Also, remember, we're going to post, you guys will get an individual post for your social media, take pictures with this, do it in front of the wall, whatever you want to do. Tell your story, guys. That's why we celebrate you every month. Gives you reasons to celebrate your wins and tell your story. Our top teams listings taken. We've got the Burdeners, Anita and Nish, the Utah Realtors, and the Hernandez Group. Ladies.
I saw Corey, did he walk in?
Yeah, but he left. Our top teams for closed units. We have Utah Realtors, Ben Kennington, Hernandez, the Burdeners, and the Amarillo Realty Group. Anna, I met a cute gal that you referred to the brokerage yesterday. Cindy. Thank you. Thank you for the intro. Top groups for listings taken. We have the Cash Home Realty team and the Launch Coaching Group. Do you guys have them? We have. We don't have it here. Okay. Top groups, closed units, Launch Coaching again. Guys,
They're doing so good.
Cash Home Realty team and Brett and Julie Real Estate. Great job, guys. And then for our $1 Million Month, we have Lincoln, Chris, Colt, Wesley, Mikkel, Jacqueline, Jessica, Heidi, Tanil, Oscar, Catherine, Katie, Ken, Kimber, Laura, Justin.
I think you should say it fast.
And our teams, I'm gonna go through them all now, give you your awards. Ben Kenny, Bagby Real Estate, Key Utah Realtors, Hernandez, Amarillo Realty Group, Launch Coaching, Brett and Julie, Cash Home Realty Team, Christina Eck, Larson Realty Group, Bolster Action Team, and Bear Phelps Team.
Let's give it up for Rusty just to show that.
Let's see. Mikhail, was this one of the better Junes that you've had? Oh, wait, this is July awards, June awards. Those are June.
Yeah.
We're still in July. We're still. What do you think was one of the differences this month? For last month?
Really, we just lost the build up spring is now. Legion, I did 3 months ago, 12 months ago.
Wait, what did you do?
Made a few phone calls.
What? Almost like it worked. You didn't just like, you know, wish for it. You just say, oh, I just want to have $1 million month.
That'd be so much cooler if it was, huh?
One thing that I will say, and then it's Sean's turn for a few minutes, but I know there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of things that are going on.
Mine's always changing.
I think there's a lot of things we could be worried about or focus on, but let's remember that what we focus on expands. And at the end of the day, we get to determine what we do in our business. And this is one of my very, very favorite things about this industry. And I've been talking to agents that are still brand new and they're just getting into the industry. And it's taking me back in time a little bit to being a little baby brand new realtor and thinking about the fear and anxiety and the nervousness that I had. And at the end of the day, this has always been and will always be one of my favorite things about this industry. It is 100% in our power. We get to decide how big our business is going to be. We get to decide whose life we're going to impact, including our own. And I got started in a really hard time in real estate. I got started in 2007. And it was not the funnest time to get started in real estate. And it felt probably to agents who have been in a long time, like it feels to those of us who have been in a long time now. And it was uncertain and we felt unsure because we were having to learn all these new things. But the reality was I made a decision of what I wanted my business and my life to look like. And that was what I focused on. I didn't focus on all the noise. I didn't focus on all the doom and gloom and the naysayers. And guys, there was a lot of doom and gloom and naysayers. There really was. I mean, I was having a conversation. Do you guys remember Kathy Moore? She was the team leader here for a while. I love Kathy. Anyway, she and I had a really good conversation yesterday, but we were talking about days on market and how like days on market were creeping up. And she's been watching her daughter works in Texas, and the Texas market is pretty similar to ours, but their swings are higher and lower. And their days on market right now are creeping over 100 days. And she was like, I've been watching it because I started thinking about like, and we started this conversation of when days on market were like 9 months, 6 months. I was like, oh, I haven't had a conversation like that for a long time. And I don't really want to have those conversations again, quite frankly. But the reality is, if that's where this goes, I'll adapt and I'll adjust and I'll still continue to create a business that I'm proud of and that feeds my family and my legacy that I want to leave and creates the experiences that are to me are really important. Because I made a decision a long time ago that no matter what the market looked like, I was going to win. And I think that that's what we've really got to remember and stay focused on. This is your business. You get to decide how big it's going to be. You can have your very best month ever in a market that everyone else is crying about how hard it is. Because you stay focused and you decide what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And believe it or not, there's systems and tools and a whole book written all around it that there's models already there for you to follow. If you just let's do what we need to do and follow the systems and lead generate and fill a pipeline. And your pipelines might take a little longer. Your pipeline probably is not. You're going to meet somebody today and in 30 days, you're going to be closing that Your pipeline's probably more like, this is the work you were doing in the spring, is how the money you're getting now. Guys, guess what's knocking right around the corner? Christmas. The lead generation you're doing today is creating a wonderful winter for you guys. It's gonna be the fact you get to go on an amazing vacation to the beach, or are you gonna be home cooking ramen noodles because you got in your own head and got in your own way? And not that there's anything that's wrong with ramen, I know. But just, I really want you to remember that, like, take a deep breath. When you start feeling the fear and anxiety creep in, just breathe. And remember, we've been through changes before. It's gonna constantly change, and a year from now, it's gonna look totally different. But again, you get to decide what it's gonna look like. Nobody gets to determine your fate. And what you focus on expands. So if you focus on everything that's wrong, or all the things that are hard, it's gonna be harder. It's gonna feel more wrong. It's gonna feel like you're in an uphill battle. If you focus on the good, like Sean, who's excited and ready to negotiate, you know, an 18% commission, which is still gonna be cheaper than most people are putting on their Amex, then you're gonna focus on that. And that's what's gonna grow too, okay? So Sean, you wanna do a few minutes of,
But because we're going so long, we're only gonna do a couple minutes.
Okay.
But I'm excited for this.
Did you want me to get? Nobody asked me, but I asked you.
Sorry. Okay, you guys know what this game is, right?
It's not that people leave, like, oh crap, we ran out. Is anyone afraid to come up? Do I have any volunteers? Do I gotta pick on some? Got to come down. You're gonna come up? Who else? We're only gonna do a couple rounds, and the idea is to have fun with this, right? We all can learn. You're gonna come up, Kate. Come on up. She's grabbing the cards real quick.
Did, they announced too that Phil Jones is gonna be back at Mega Camp, right?
oh, yep.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Was this for a reason? Okay.
Yeah.
We're not ready to work with an agent yet.
Awesome. When are you thinking you wanna start working with me?
I might probably try for sell by owner, for a minute. I'm not really sure.
Okay, so what makes you wanna do it for sale by owner?
Cause you guys don't really do much.
Okay, so what are you gonna do that you're worried that an agent's not?
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna put it in chat GTP and it's gonna tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Sweet. Well, there's some awesome systems that we can show you that we do. Around your, getting your house sold, we door knock, we stage your house to make it look the best it could be. We also, we go above and beyond on making sure that it gets out to everybody. Not just putting it on KSL, because you know, most people that look on KSL or even Facebook
I was gonna
Marketplace.
put it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah, so those two, you got a lot of people that are just, not looking, they're trying to scam you. So you're gonna get a lot of scammers and you're gonna get a lot of real estate agents. So what we could do is put it on the MLS, so people understand that is for sale, it is a true thing. We can go ahead and get your house sold and get it marketing quick. And in order to do that, we can just go ahead and get paper signed. We'll get the marketing all done. We'll get the pictures done for tomorrow and let's get you listed.
Okay, awesome. Good job. How'd you do? Pretty good, right? Okay, same question. We aren't ready to work with an agent yet.
I totally understand that. Help me understand where you guys are in that process. I know.
Well, my wife knows a whole bunch of people, and so we're just gonna tell people of my work and that for work, and we think one of those probably just buy it.
So
Our house is the coolest.
this is a beautiful home. So more so word of mouth is what's important to you guys to get your home marketed and sold.
Yeah, I had a barbecue once and everyone said how much they loved it, so I'm pretty sure one of them is.
Yeah, I can see that. This is an amazing home. So let me ask you, remind me, when you guys sell your home, where were you planning to move next?
I hadn't thought about that.
Oh, okay.
That's one other question.
So Mr. Seller. Okay, so Do you guys have an idea in mind of when you want to have the home sold by to move on to wherever you're thinking of going?
No, but probably before school starts.
Okay, so before school starts, so we're talking like maybe a few weeks or,
Oh, school starts in a few weeks?
yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, are they, I mean, do you have college kids or high school kids, like? or is it
I
different?
have grade school kids.
Oh, yeah, we're a few weeks out, so you want to have it sold in a few weeks?
Yeah, no, that probably ain't gonna happen.
Oh, okay. I mean, it depends. Usually, if you have an aggressive marketing strategy, you know, there would have to be a lot that goes into that. Is that important to you guys to have it sold before the kids go back to school?
It's important to get it sold. I don't wanna give it away.
Okay, so not giving away, because you do have an amazing property here. I noticed you have a listed for about $495, is that correct?
Yeah, sounds right.
Perfect. So do you mind me asking how you determine that price?
The Zillow's estimate or whatever that thing's called.
Okay, perfect. So, are you prepared, because I know with your motivation, you wanting to have it sold quickly, but not wanting to give it away. Are you prepared to adjust that price down when you're working with a buyer?
Well, no, I wanna go up, not down.
Okay, perfect. So you want to maximize your investment, get the most money out of your home. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. And then I did find, like you mentioned, Zillow. So is that the only place you talked about word of mouth, but you did not mention assessment. So I'm assuming you're marketing it on Zillow.
I did put it on Zillow and then Facebook.
Okay, perfect. So, are there any other avenues you're using to market?
We told all the people that came to our barbecue.
And so the word of mouth. Okay, perfect. So are you familiar with the techniques I use to get homes like yours marketed and sold for top dollar?
No.
Would you be interested in hearing a little bit more about what I do?
Sounds like I probably should.
Perfect, great. When can we, what can we?
Tomorrow at 3.
Perfect.
How was that?
Those results are really good.
Good. Okay, two more volunteers.
I'm gonna tell you the scenario that they're gonna do.
Wait, you want me to, I need 2 volunteers. Who's super nervous and doesn't want me to call them? Because if you tell me, I probably won't call on you, but I just might. That's how you get over your fear. Raquel's looking at his watch.
Denny's trying to raise her hand, but it's like.
No, I'm hungry, so I don't know if I have it in me. Last time. I'm hungry.
Oh, such thing.
Come on.
And there's lunch ready. So.
Okay, one more, then we'll be.
How about? Battle it out and we'll give you an objection. You, Rusty and Sean.
I think that'd be
fun.
For bring it.
So you're,
We're gonna do dance off.
are you the agent?
Tell me
You're
what
the
it
agent
says.
and I'm the seller. Our rates are too high.
Okay, and they're, I guess it's a buyer.
Maybe we should include.
Rates are too high for a buyer. Sean's the buyer and the
So I'm the
agent.
buyer.
Okay. Sean, interesting. You know what? I agree. Rates are higher than they were a couple of months ago. So tell me, what is most important to you? Is it the actual interest rate itself, or is the amount of your monthly payment?
It's the affordability of my monthly.
Affordability of
Yes.
your monthly payment?
Yes.
Yeah, I totally get that. And that's what a lot of people have felt like, right? Because we see the headlines, we see the news, and a lot of people are saying like, the rates are so high. When historically, actually, the rates are in line or lower than they actually have been historically over the last 30 years. So really yeah, honestly, the average rate's about 8%. So I've been doing this a long time. When I started, it was about 8.
I didn't know you were that old.
I know, because I was so young.
Yeah.
Fired. I was like, yeah, fired.
That guy Tommy that you said was gonna call me, called, but I don't want to talk to him because rates are so high.
So let me explain to you really kind of what we want to make sure they do. And this is why I connected you with my lender in the first place, because at the end of the day, the rate we pay really only matters if it pushes us out of our affordability. Right? So what we're looking at is we want to look at the rate and our down payment and our credit score, which is going to give us our different rate, right? Because you may be seeing a rate, you can get a better rate. There's also a lot of ways to get different rates. You can pay to buy them down a little bit to make it more affordable. We also may be able to negotiate that with the seller. The seller can pay to actually lower your rate for you. So that's why I wanted you to connect with Tommy first, just for the reason of he can look and say, based on what your budget is monthly, this is the amount of house you can afford. So we really don't want to just say the rates are too high. We want to say, what's our comfortable budget that we want to be within in a house? And then we find your house to purchase that property. Because the reality is, you're talking about selling your house you have right now. I know long-term investing has been part of your strategy. You'll never be able to buy an investment property again for the rate you have your house at. So what I would say is hang tight on that house. Let's have that one become your investment property. Let's look at what's affordable to you for your monthly payment, because rate really only matters if we can't afford it. And rates change, they go up, they go down. What's also likely to happen is if rates go down, there still is a lot of pent up demand in the state of Utah. So what's likely going to happen is the price of our home is going to increase. Do you remember when you bought your house just a few years ago? You had to overpay significantly for the property. I think we're going to be back in that same scenario. And the reality is rent is 100% interest. So if you want to keep this one as an investment, you're looking to do something new, let's look at your actual needs, find a house that fits them, and then make sure the budget works. Does that make sense?
Yep, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's sign.
You learned something from what you said? Be
No.
pretty.
Pause for the compliment, for sure.
Should we just be done, have our sponsor come up?
I think we learned, what I learned from that or connected with on that is we think that buyers know as much as we do and they don't. So we're telling them the same stuff that feels like it's on repeat to us. But the buyers don't know that you can buy the rate down. They don't know certain things about it.
They don't know that we need to focus more on what the payment is, not what the rate is. Because guess what? Those same buyers just bought a car loan at the highest rates car loans have been in a very long time. And they're paying $1,000 a month for their car that they have it at 8% interest or whatever.
Or they probably don't even know the interest rate of their car.
They just know what
Or they're side by side or they're fifth wheel, because when they went to the dealer to buy whatever item they just recently bought, the dealer just worked on the affordability of the payment, period. They don't know they're paying 22% on that fifth wheel. They have no idea. Or you're gonna do it. Isn't she ready with it?
Jenny's hungry. But we do like, see,
You wanna do one more? You wanna?
Yeah, do it.
This one is,
So two of those are to get down, so pull those out and stuff.
am I the seller?
Well, you,
I don't know
you
what the
can,
scenario was.
you
So
can check.
Sean, the other agent's gonna charge a flat fee. Are you able to do a flat fee too? Or do we do the same question?
We can do this way.
Okay, the other agent's gonna just charge a flat fee. Could you do that too?
Now she's a seller, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
And you're
you know
the
what, I'm not sure who the other agent was or the brokerage it was, most likely was what they call a discount brokerage, and I'm sure when I go through the scenario. I typically do not charge just a flat fee unless it's in addition to my percentage, and that pays my transaction coordinator. With everything that I do, I don't think you'd really, after we go through everything, I don't think you'd really want to just pay me a flat fee.
Well, but that one's gonna save me money. They said they're gonna do a good job too.
Well, is it about saving you money or maximizing it?
That's a good question. Tell me more.
So with all the things that I do, we're going to get multiple offers on your property. We're gonna try to negotiate people that pay a higher amount, right? That's also one of the cards in there. And therefore, my commission is, I'm gonna make more money as well as you are. Right? Versus if you just pay me a flat fee, then I'm just gonna put it in the MLS and maybe put up a sign if you pay a high enough flat fee, and then you can call me when, you find your buyer. I'll be right.
Okay.
That sounds fair. No.
I just want the flat fee.
I can see why someone would want a flat fee. I can see why someone would want just a small percentage, right? But what's in your best interest is to maximize what's best for you, right? Is to make more money on the property.
Yeah, true.
So let's go through all the comps. Let's figure out all the marketing that we do that's gonna bring you the highest dollar,
Okay.
right? And then with that, we go through and we help you with your repairs. We help you negotiating due diligence type issues. We help you with appraisal type issues, right? If we're pushing that price up, it could go up now with a flat fee agent. If one of those issues, they're just gonna be like, oh, let's get to the next buyer, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to go through this thing over and over and over. I've heard just recently that someone had not one, but twice, two times the transaction failed right before closing. We don't want that to happen, do we?
No, this is like a crappy buyer's agent.
It
An
could just be,
excellent
it could
listing
be,
agent.
it could be based upon the flat fee agent who doesn't really care because what? They've already got their fee.
That makes sense. Let's go through your marketing plan.
Let's do it. Let's look at everything.
All right, and at the end of the day, is it negotiable?
100% negotiable.
All commissions are negotiable, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I heard.
I just don't charge a flat fee.
Okay, love it.
So
How do you do?
perfect.
Okay.
We
Has
can do
anyone got the,
we can do
has anyone got the
like-
flat fee one in a long time?
I
haven't
did.
heard that one in a long
I
time.
think that's what I think we're gonna start to hear though.
I think it's gonna be one buyer.
I think we'll see that on the buy side.
Yeah, on the buy side.
This is not Andrea. Hi. Come introduce yourself. You're with 360 Tour Designs.
I am.
Awesome.
I am Cresta. Actually,
Cresta.
Andre is no longer with us.
Oh, well, we should probably change that. Is the phone number right?
That was awkward to walk into.
Yep, we're just a photography company. We do everything from virtual tours to aerials, videos, social media, anything you need. And that was all I wanted to say. It was just hi and enjoy lunch.
What areas do you work in, Krista? And I'm gonna put your name up here. Sure. Because I'm a jerk, I did that wrong.
Kresta.
You're the second Kresta only that I've ever met.
In what areas?
Yeah.
Anywhere for you mean like Logan to
Yeah.
Provo, Hollis, like, you know, if we work in that area, it's all over the place, up to Heber City. Yeah, we're
How do they get in touch with you if they want to? Just your phone number? Is there a website they can order on?
both, 360tourdesigns.com. And then, of course, the phone number, they can email, you can book online, you can call me, you can whatever. Text me, the line accepts calls and text.
Awesome. And are you gonna hang out for a minute? So if they have questions on pricing or
Yeah.
want examples or anything like that?
Good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, go grab lunch. Say hi to Krista and tell her thanks. And there's her info. We'll send it out in a recap.
And then. Lauren. Did Red Bash ready for everybody doing Red Bash? Yeah. Give me 2 seconds and I'll be ready.